right? I'm just kidding. How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Yeah. Y'all want to talk about some old school shit? Y'all want to hear some old school flavor and shit? Yeah. How you want to start it off?
Old school.
How you want to start it off first?
No, I thought I was just texting everybody.
Anybody got any questions on that?
I'm waiting for my shit to set.
I'm gonna start it off.
I'm waiting on
Go ahead, B.
I'm gonna start it off.
Alright, B gonna set it up. Set it up.
We're gonna set it up, of course, with the hard hitting thing. Because I know a lot of you probably wonder, why the fuck did you guys break up? I'm sure that's on a lot of your brains. You know, like, damn, okay, r.o.c, well, he wasn't really a part of Twist. He wasn't doing it when they were doing it. Okay, so we're gonna rewind. Okay, when we were doing HOK, the three of us, you know, we were like, okay, zoom, and we're doing, and we're hustling, and we're making this thing happen. But the thing is, when you have three brains like ours, after a while, they're cooking. So it gets to that, you know, like you're boiling water, and then pretty soon, bloom, 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 bloom. So it got to the point to where, and I didn't understand, like they had ideas. I didn't get that. Because at that time, hey, I'm r.o.c. I know what I'm doing. I get it. I know what I'm doing. But see, I didn't really get the fact that they were like, B, we grew up, B. We know what we're doing, B. We grew up. We could do some shit. But I didn't quite get that. So we had to go our separate ways. So we went our separate ways. And when we went our separate ways, we just kind of weren't happy with each other. When we went our separate ways, and it happens. I'm sure a lot of you probably got, you know, kinfolk, whatever, brothers, sisters, moms, dads, cousins, uncles, best friends, whatever, and then, you know, you guys, well, fuck you too. And then, you know, you guys go your separate ways. But how you know something is, what is that saying? People say, let something go you love, and if it comes back, you know.
It's meant to be.
Where are we right now?
Yeah.
See? That's what happens. So some things happened and shit like that, and then, you know, we split, and then, you know, we boom, and then, you know, we got back together, and it was so crazy. We got back together, I think in 02 or 03. We talked to each other and everything, and it was just, you know how, you know, you're like, oh damn, this is probably gonna be weird. Nope. It was just like, I never even left. It was just like, hell yeah, y'all. And then we about to, hell yeah, y'all. Then we about to do this. This is the shit. And it was just like seamless. Because again, it was just meant to be. You know, us three were always kind of meant to be. You know. So yeah, I wanted to start it off with that hard hitting. And I know a lot of people.
Say nobody asked that shit ever again.
Right. Just so everybody knows that he's taping good. So then you can release it and let people see it.
Word up.
So they know.
I know you guys had some stories too, right?
Oh no, we absolutely have some stories.
Stories.
On that, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And things happen to make you stronger and to condition you and
it was even, you know, there was a person manipulating both sides of the story as well.
Absolutely.
It just became a nightmare like that. And I would really say it was on us as much as being manipulated to believe certain things to be certain ways. That's all.
Definitely. Yep.
Shit happened, man. We here today, and that's all.
Yes.
That's all that really is.
And we here.
But hold up. I wanna talk about, if it's cool. I wanna tell y'all a crazy, not crazy, but it's crazy to me. A long time ago, can I tell that story? That one weirdo story I was telling you about the other day with
the boner story?
Yeah.
The wheelie box? No, don't tell them that.
This is crazy. Okay. For those of you who don't know, me and this motherfucker, we got
Drops first name, Jamie.
We got like Instagrams for our toy collections and whatever, the Pops and Vintage and Paul's Pops and stuff like that. So we were doing the booth thing. And I was posting on my Instagram, like I took a preview of the booth and I was gonna post it, and I was writing this sentimental, long-winded text, whatever you call it, and I'm like, it's been like 20-some years since I've had a booth. And I stopped and I was like, oh, this is an old school story for the panel.
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. There used to be was it Monday show?
Yep.
A Monday comic and card show every Monday at Freedom Hill, which is like a
Not far from here.
help me out. Yeah, like
Outdoor theater.
thank you, an outdoor amphitheater. And every Monday they would have this card and comic and toy show. And for a while it became like it grew and became like the hottest to do thing. If you were nerdies like us, you found out about it. And what was crazy, and this is what's really cool. It's like me and him were always into collecting, and what was cool about Brian is always just like, whatever the fuck you guys are doing,
I'm doing.
I don't really understand it, but I'm doing it. That's why I love him. He's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing now? Is it cards or whatever? But it's like he was always down with it. So he's like, we're doing this booth. We're doing a booth. All right, fuck it. What are we doing? Paul had his cards. I had my comics, and not to get all sentimental and weird or whatever, my dad had passed away and he left me with all these comic books. And I had box upon box. I had 52 small boxes of comics. And in a small box of comics, you could fit about 100 comic books. And in a long box of comics, you could fit about 250 boxes. Well, I had like 25 long boxes and 52 small boxes. So I had so many comics that these guys would come over and I'd be like, help me, go through these. And we couldn't figure out a way. We're like, what should we do with them? And it got to a point where I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Am I ringing out?
Yeah.
I'm wilding. Yeah. Sorry. So anyway, it got to a point where again, now mind you, this Freedom Hill Monday show, it was picking up heat and speed, and it was like becoming this big to do thing, and it was like at the height of its awesomeness. And here we are, the Dirty Trio with the booth. We got a booth. Paul's over there selling his cards, and I have like 6 or 7 boxes of comics. And mind you, we didn't have time to go through everything. I didn't price anything. I didn't look up anything. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, everybody's like, oh, how much are these? And I'm like, oh, hey, any 6 comics for $10. Any 6 comics for $10. Any of them, just grab them, whatever. Mm-hmm. And Brian's like, here, I got you, man. And he's taking money, and Paul's taking money. We're fucking hustling. We're 3 motherfuckers from the hood, doing good, doing shit, doing better shit than we should. You know what I mean? Just getting it. So okay, and this fucking guy. Now, when you see villains, when you see villains depicted in Disney movies, you're like, these people don't exist in real life. Wait, am I right? Am I fucking right? This fucking guy, man. There was a guy there who like went through the comic box, and it's a true test of a person's character. He went through the box and he pulled out Punisher, the first appearance of Punisher. I want to say it's Spider-Man 181, and my dad had a bunch of shit. Like I knew about the issue. I didn't look through the boxes. I was just whatever. He grabbed 6 comics. And he bought the comics for $10. At the time, the book now is like hundreds of dollars. At the time, the book was like about $100. And he bought the 6 books or whatever for the 10 bitch ass dollars. And he took the books. Instead of it just being like, I got it, good. This motherfucker goes back to his booth, which he has a booth. He puts it up at his booth and he starts telling everybody, see that fat red kid over there? I fucking robbed the shit out of that kid. I got that motherfucker good. And I'm like, I felt so bad. I was like, it wasn't the fact of the monetary situation. I felt like, oh man, what did I do? Like I should have did my research. I should have. And like these 2 guys, they could see how upset I was. They were gonna fucking kill that guy. I'm over here in the corner about to cry, and they're like, hey, my man, come outside, motherfucker. Needless to say, we weren't allowed at the Monday card show anymore. That right there, that whole story just goes to show like how long we've been fucking with this convention type set scenery and shit like that, and it's a testament of just how down these motherfuckers are for me. Real talk. And how evil some people in the world can be. He could have just savored the flavor. He could have took the book and went home and told the story. There was this fat kid. He was sweaty. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I bought the book. I took it home. Hey, just lost my game. No. He waggled his dick and was like, fuck that little fat
Went and kicked a couple puppies.
Right.
Pinched a couple toddlers, you bitches.
And then at the end of the scenario, it's like we're the bad guys. how are we the bad guy? Well, they were the bad guys, but I was with them because literally when they were done beating him up, I was to pee on him, and it's only fair.
Right, it went from just a couple of kids selling comics to get these bubbles out of here.
They brought the hood out of us, and that's what's up. So that was my little hood story. My little
So let's bring it back a
Comic
little
Con
bit.
story.
I'm over here, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Oh, yeah.
I'm all,
Just taking a lean on this
yeah,
one. I know we want to get into some of the old school stuff that you guys were talking about. Namely, Paul, I know you have had a relationship with Eminem at one point. Would you like to talk about that? Maybe tell. Give us a little bit of that and into where your guys' relationship
Yeah, it was, we met him we were coming out of a Kinko's, and this guy came up to us in the parking lot, and he was like, hey, you guys House of Crazy? And I was immediately about to steal on him, waiting for him to hate and say something crazy. Like, and he was like, no, man, what's up? My name is M, I do this, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh shit, that's you? I knew who he was, because he used to be a rapper named Soul Intent.
Soul Intent, yeah.
And so it was just cool. He was cool. And we kept kicking it, and he would come over and he'd just see the shit that we were doing and be like, God damn, that's so dope.
It was such a weird dynamic though, because him and Eminem were like mad cool, but he really didn't say shit to me or Brian. He would never say shit. He'd be like, he'd look and he'd be like, what up? Where Paul at?
He was like,
alright, shit, we're just over here building boxes and shit, like for the show and shit, like, well, fuck this motherfucker, man. What do you want to do, man? But that's cool, man.
No, he was a cool ass dude.
He was legit cool, man.
I remember we took him over Brian's house. That's where all the equipment was, and we played Murder, Murder, Murder. And he was like, I'm fucking stealing that. And I was like, that's a little crazy. I was like, you know how old that song is, man? He was like, I don't give a shit. I'm stealing that.
I want it.
And then going over there, and he'd be like, I'm about to sign with Dr. Dre, man. And I believed him. That's the weird shit. You usually hear people talking, you're like, whatever.
Right.
But that guy was so fucking talented that I knew from a long time ago. Somebody gets their hands on him.
I didn't believe him, but I'm not sure that I did.
Oh, I knew it.
You did. He did. I'm not gonna say that I did.
And I did. I didn't know, but yeah, he definitely
when I heard that, when you
believed
hear people just dropping celebrity names, and be like, all of a sudden,
sure,
you're like, I was hanging out with Timberland yesterday.
Right.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I'm sure you were.
He wasn't like that. He was just like real shit.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
And then he ended up going to the Rap Olympics, and he was with all them East Coasters. And fucking Misery ended up going out there as well, and they were with Psycho Realm and Be Real. And M saw Nene and was like, tell Paul I'm about to sign my fucking deal. And I was like, holy shit, fucking 90 days later, these motherfuckers were beefing. And I was put in a fucking very weird predicament, because that was my dude, but these were my dudes that we're starting a movement with. Right. And that was a very fucking fine line. That was the first real predicament we were seriously put in. Like, okay, you have to seriously make a choice here. And if you notice, we weren't as involved as others, and that's why, because we had a tie to that guy, and that's why I just couldn't go out on a record and fucking bile on him. But none of that shit. We were the ones that ended the beef. We were the ones that contacted Bruce and was like, hey man, come the fuck on, we've been going to school since, like, I went to high school with all these dudes.
We orchestrated the bowling thing, we all went bowling.
We brought him in, and he did the feature on the record, and fucking ICP came in, and they were like, so that's proof, huh? And we're like, yeah. He was like, so is there beef? And I'm like, no man, there's no beef, none. They're just good dudes, they want to do it. And we ended up getting them all to powwow, and they came in with that bowling night, and everybody seen that the beef was squashed. Yeah, and that's how we got squashed.
And that's what was cool about, for real. And that's what was cool about Proof. Proof was a real cool dude. You know what I mean? Proof was all about keeping the peace in the hood and shit like that. And
crazy story about Proof. When Proof got murdered, that night, I was the last person to talk to him. We were talking about taking him on a tour.
Right, on a tour.
And I woke up the next morning to his manager call. I got a phone call like 6:30, 7 in the morning, and he told me that. And I was like, you gotta be fucking joking me. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's And it's really crazy, you know, for Sean. I mean, because he, man, I'm telling y'all, this dude was such a cool guy. He was
the life of the party kind
I'm
of guy.
telling you, it's just the weirdest. Like, what in the fuck happened? Oh shit, what? It's just crazy. But
So
he
you'll
was.
see fucking old shows that we used to do where Eminem's like opening up and shit like that. Because I told him any fucking time we perform, you're on a show.
Yeah.
Because in Detroit it was all about you want to play my show, I need $500 a minute.
Right.
Or I need $1,000.
It's crazy.
And I told him I would never fucking charge you. Never charge you to play no fucking show.
Exactly.
And he just thought that was real, man. Because all the people that he dealt with were the same way. It was very cutthroat. So
That's another thing though too. I just want to say, since it's an old school one too, it's like when he came in to do the song with us, How I Live. Yeah, this is the coolest shit. Like this is one of the reasons why like I respect the shit out of that guy. Yeah, not to mention like the conversations that we had in a short period of time that I did get to know him, but like he came into the session and like he legitimately brought like an attaché case, like a briefcase about this thick, you know, whatever, normal size, but about that thick, and he opens it up, and I mean it's full of like papers and rhymes and raps. Like, meaning, like, if we were some bitch-ass motherfuckers, he was gonna go for some pre-writ shit.
right.
But he was like, he listened to the beat, and he was just like, hold on, man, I can't even do this. And I was like, oh, and I typical white guy, like, do what? And he's like, hold on, man, give me a pen, man, give me a pen. I was like, I looked at Paul, I was like, what's going on? And Paul's like, I think he's gonna write the rap now with us. And I'm like, fucking right on. And it was just ultimate respect.
Because it wasn't like that. You send somebody the beat, they record in another studio, and they send it back to you.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But
no,
it was
that
just,
was just
it's
different.
an old school, it was just an old school method of just actually coming to the studio and hanging out. And like I said, but just the knowledge of knowing that he had like easily, and I'm guesstimating, I didn't count, but over 100 pre-written raps in this attaché case that he could have just grabbed out and been like, and started spitting. And he was like, I'm gonna come with something fresh off. I'm gonna come with something right from scratch for y'all because this is cool right now.
Right.
It was part of a movement, the vibe in the room about we're gonna fix this. And you can even listen to the rhymes, you know, family now in Amity Town. You can real shit.
And that's how we ended up fucking with Bizarre after that. We met Bizarre through that. And he is one of the fucking silliest dudes I've ever met in my fucking life. Like,
He is too, man, for real.
I don't know how he is, like, just out in the open, but man, that dude's fucking hilarious.
He is.
Very funny, very
For
funny.
real though, that's real shit. Hell yeah.
So that's how we continue to talk to Biz.
Yep.
And just keep, just being friends or whatever. And that's how we ended up with the Lars project. Is he brought it.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard it and was like, Jesus Christ. This shit is insane. I know you guys, a lot of people have a preconceived notion of what that may or may not be, and I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. When you hear this record, you will be impressed. You've never heard it like this.
Seriously.
Fucking Gordy, Jesus Christ.
It's an amazing record. Seriously, it's like, I think of it like when how can I say this? It's like when I put on other people's music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how, remember we said that the other day, like, people like, how presumptuous are you? You're just around your house bumping your own shit.
Right.
Like, you're just on your own dick, you know, just so we don't die. Like, it just doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I don't care what you think, it just does not happen. Unless I'm practicing for a show, it does not happen. But you know what I mean? But it's like, I find myself putting on the record and like doing silly shit, like rearranging my Funko Pops or vacuuming the floor with the earbuds and shit, you know what I mean? It's like, their shit is the bomb.
Gordy could quite possibly be one of the most underrated rappers.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think now that we got them on track, you guys are going to be impressed, man, for real.
Absolutely, man.
I'm talking to this water bottle.
Why you talking that water bottle, dog?
Because it doesn't have eyes and it doesn't stare back at me.
Jamie, what are wheelie pops?
I miss my hat.
You son of a bitch.
What are wheelie pops?
Why you doing that to me?
That was written.
Oh, okay,
It was written on the paper. Right?
that was his first foray into BMX.
Yeah.
And how that
It was
goes.
so awesome.
When we ride bikes, we used to do
ride
these things
bikes.
called catwalks where you
Yeah.
can lift the front tire and just
You just
ride.
ride that bitch, on one wheel.
He could,
But you guys could. But
we
Jamie,
Almost everybody could.
Let's hear Jamie's.
Jamie's was more of a,
Yeah. Here's a squid.
I was like, what the fuck is he doing, B?
I hate y'all right now. I swear, man. Wheelie Pops were sweet because it was all I could do, thank you. I was fat, Justin.
I'm fat right now. I'm fat right now. I can't do it.
My weight to tire ratio wasn't happening.
I understand the
Gravity
struggle.
would not let the pop get off the ground much to make it a wheelie. It was a wheelie pop.
You just can't pop it.
I'm like, he's really gonna tucker himself out. You're gonna blow himself
I was
out.
tired.
He was a Tucker guy. Tucker
It's the upper arm strength and lack of balance. Like a piece of veal trying to, well,
You peaked it when you
I
should
don't even have canine to hide my embarrassment.
I can't have
me and Brian, secretly me and Brian used to fucking terrorize Jamie.
Yeah, we did.
Bucks.
Yeah,
Terrorize him.
we used to figure it out.
Don't awe him, he deserved it. He's a fucking only child. He got everything he wanted. He's a spoiled son of a bitch. So we were gonna keep him in line. You guys need to be kissing our asses for that. He'd be sitting on some throne up there, floating above the rest of you. Mere mortals. Like that's.
You know what? Sometimes I honestly believe that Eric Cartman was designed after me.
For real?
The original Eric Cartman. That's the real shit.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. They
His
actually.
mom used to be real on the fence about me, like,
Well, that's because
I don't know.
she tried to be cool. Like she would let us chill by herself. You know, and
as teenagers.
as teenagers, you know.
I'll tell him that story.
Well, I was just gonna tell the tomato one. That's what I was about to say right now. This is why my mom had preconceived notions about Paul. We're in the kitchen and we didn't know my mom had ninja tactics. But my mom, the way our kitchen window was, she got up on the back of the bumper of the car and she was standing so she could see through the window.
Yes.
And me and Paul were in the kitchen. You know, we're like teenagers. We're talking all cool. We're like, yeah. And then I'll get the girl and I'll grab my dick. And he grabs it. He was like, I got a big dick and he's cocky. He's taking a cucumber with tomatoes. He's like, look at my cock. It's fucking cocky. And you can hear my mom through the window. So how big is your cock?
You son of a you.
And then it was like, you don't hear Brian saying things like that, do you? No, you don't. Remember the other time we were in the kitchen and you were like, hey, do you have any of that shed spread country cock? And I was like, this is slip. He just, yeah, don't worry. I did the same shit to Blaze. Same shit. Blaze's mom.
You got thrown out of his house.
I know, we got tossed.
Blaze's mom threw me out, so I am what he is. I'm that person to Blaze. I got thrown out of Blaze's house by Blaze's mom. She told him to not hang out with me no more. She was like, if he comes in my house ever again, you don't live here no more. I was in the kitchen. I was just hanging out in the kitchen. I'm like, man, we heard the fuck up. This motherfucker's out here. This motherfucker came in. Who the fuck? Man, where the fuck is your sister at right now? What the fuck is that in my kitchen cussing like that? In the name of the Lord. Who is that? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, Mom. My bad and shit. No words, just pointed. It was like, so yeah. We did, but yeah, these motherfuckers terrorized the shit out of me as a kid. They had this thing that they used to do, and I don't even think, and this is again, everything happens for a reason. I don't even think they ever discussed it. Like I don't think they went in the corner and worked it out. They just said it. Like they would look. I had a pool in my backyard. I had a pool in my backyard.
That's awesome.
And they would say, one would go, top row, bottom row, let's get him, you're dead. And I'd be like, what? And I would just start trying, and they would just start beating my ass. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And he'd tell his mom, and his mom would be like, quit crying, you fucking asshole.
And I'm like, you're the only one that's supposed to protect me. And you didn't even have my back for stepping on you.
That's fucking crazy.
So I have issues. Don't worry, but that was great.
Yeah, that's true.
And then also too, they knew that because again, more of my Eric Cartman shit. I have a problem with my ears. I had to wear earplugs, and then they'd come over by me and they pop them out and they dip me on the top rope bottom. I'm like, "What? You're getting water in my ear canal." I was so dirty with them.
As we got older,
Yeah.
we started to terrorize the northern neighborhood. We started to terrorize our hood. Ooh, some of this shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, we've been through a lot of
For
shit.
real though,
Like
man.
I say that all the time. My life from birth until the day before I was twisted is fucking a lot more insane than the day I became twisted until today. Like we've been through some shit. It's amazing that we are alive. No bullshit.
Yeah.
People say that all the time. Oh, we've done that. I remember Vanilla Ice was like, I stabbed a guy or some shit. Like, man, we were just like that.
Yeah.
That's not much.
He said that.
You know, like at that.
Hey, PI.
I fucking killed him, Brian.
Right, we better.
Fucking kill. Oh,
I fucking killed him.
kill a guy, Brian, and kill a guy.
He just came at me.
Yeah,
It was just, our upbringing, because we lived in the hood, man. Like, it was the hood. Like, we knew cats just kill, prison, all that shit. We just always, us three, just always kind of skated. Don't do it. Oh, dead body. Oh, step over that shit.
Oh shit. Don't touch it.
Don't do that.
Don't touch it.
We just, like he said, thank God we made it out that shit.
Yeah.
We made it out that shit, but we used to do our fair share.
Well, you had to survive. You know what I mean?
Your dad was driving, and it was Jeremy and D or something. And they had seen somebody, and like your dad was driving slow, and they just jumped in the car with him because they seen that's how it was. You'd see another crew of people that you didn't want to get beat up by, and you just.
Well, we were growing up. There was already another group of fucking 30-year-old felons that just loved terrorizing motherfuckers.
Antoine there.
This shit was crazy.
But see, and that's why when you hear us and we talk about in interviews and people and ask us.
Anybody ever had their house shot up? Raise your hand.
Right.
Okay, raise it if it's happened more than 5 times.
I'm telling you.
More than 7.
I'm
Hey.
telling you.
My neighbors got shot.
Telling you.
That don't
Crazy.
count.
I remember the day, there was one day and I'm chilling and shit, and I don't know where they were. And I'm at Paul's crib. I'm with Paul's brother Jeremy. Sitting on the porch. They were somewhere.
I know exactly.
And sitting on the fucking porch with me and Jeremy, and we just kicking it, talking, and somebody parked a fucking car across the street across the street's house. The guy across the street must have thought it was one of us. Me and Jeremy sitting there talking. Here. Bah! Just chilling. Bah! And then
they're
his
shooting
fucking
at us.
brother, Paul's brother, comes out with a shotgun. B! Get the motherfucker across the street shooting at us! I was oblivious. I'm just sitting on the porch talking. I didn't even know Jeremy went in the crib. He went in the crib and got the gun. Went in the crib, got the gun. And he like, B, he's shooting at us. And then I look across the street. The dude across the street's just like, bah! Just shooting at me. Just shooting. I'm like, B, get your ass up. Like, what the fuck? And then they showed up there. It was crazy. We used to get some shit.
We happened to be like 2 blocks down across Gratiot. We heard the gunshots. I turned to my man. I'm like, damn, they're popping over there. And then
Crazy.
you got that call, and it was like, man, you better come home. It's going down.
Yeah.
That shit was insane. We about to run up in this motherfucker's house.
Yeah.
This was a killer's dude.
Yeah, he thought we parked some car across. Like,
Right.
we parked that shit there. We don't know who parked it there, bro.
Crazy. And the scariest thing, and the reason that you didn't know you were safe, but you were safe, is this dude was blind as a fucking
I'm telling you,
bat.
it's like this
His
motherfucker.
fucking
Bah!
eyes were like that.
And I'm just sitting here, man. Jeremy, that motherfucker, they should be back in a minute. Bow!
Right.
Bow!
Dressed it up.
Right, and this motherfucker's literally like he's aiming at me. It's just like the bullets are like, okay. But yeah, man, it was just,
That shit was happening all the time. It was fucking crazy.
Hey, but dig though, what we, a lot of you, I don't know if you guys know this, but like I started like rapping back like 88. I think I started like actually like writing raps and shit back in 88. You were born in 88. See, that shit's crazy.
Crazy.
I was doing it. So I was writing raps and shit like that. And me and my cousin, save up, a little money and shit, working a little odd job, save up some money. And we would go to the studio called The Disc. It was Side Sticks at that time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't do that. It was Side
It was
Sticks.
Side Sticks.
Hell yeah, Red Country, dog.
And we'd go to Side Sticks. So we'd go to Side Sticks and, we record, a little bit. And we were with the engineer at that time at Side Sticks was an engineer by the name of Mike Clark. I'm sure a lot of you guys might know who Mike Clark is, but he was our engineer. This is like well before there was such thing as an ICP or even an eShop. None of them yet. So me and my cousin would go there. We would record like that, and we would come back. And it was cool. Me and my cousin doing our little group thing together. But what I always wanted was me, Jamie, and Paul to do something. But they didn't rap at that time. They're like, be doing that. We don't do that shit. They don't do that shit. So they didn't do it. Me and my cousin were, doing this thing. And then eventually they got around and they discussed like themselves. They were ready to do some shit. It's like, okay. So they ready to do some shit.
Crap, we can do this.
I'm like, okay. So me and my cousin were kind of bickering and doing all that crazy shit. So me and my cousin ended up splitting, which was awesome. Because then that's when we got together. Because they had I don't know, did you guys ever have a group name?
No, remember it used to, it was just that big ass group of crazy clans.
That's right.
Everybody was in that, it just
Legion of Boom.
hard.
It was Legion
Oh,
of
that
Boom.
was
Legion of
Right.
Boom.
So they were, right, the clique was Legion
I had
of
a
Boom.
fitted with that shit.
That's
So I
right.
heard on
We
the
all
back,
had
Legion of
fitted
Boom. I
and
thought I
shit.
was hardcore.
I said Legion of Boom and all that
damn.
shit. It was awesome. And then, eventually it just got to be just the three of us. And then we, just kind of started just, like, yeah, man, hey, I bought this, I got this equipment, y'all. And then we borrowed shit from my cousin and with the little DJ.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
And that's,
with Gary?
Yep.
With the
Yep.
buckles was great
Yep.
shit.
We used to
Borrow your equipment and keep that shit for like 2
Yep.
months. We working
And
on
then
the
we just
album.
work.
Hey, I gotta
We
take
work.
that back to the studio. Hey, another week
Yeah.
we
And
gotta
we
do the
work.
final production.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
we
what the
work,
fuck we were
and then
doing.
that's how, and then we just eventually, and the name House of Crazies? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know.
It had to be.
That's a really good
No, you know what? I think it was because I was gonna get to that. It was like one of our escapes, and we say that too a lot in interviews and shit like that. One of our escapes was always horror movies. We would
Right.
always hang out, we would watch horror movies. So we spent a lot of our time in, at the time, a lot of you young motherfuckers don't know about a word called Blockbuster.
Yes.
They know about it from South Park.
It was a rental facility back in the days where one could rent a video cassette, which is before the invention of DVD.
Right.
Or Blu-ray or ultraviolet.
Or
Yes.
Yes. But or bootleg, yes. But
Or the internet for that fucking fact. But yeah, but we would go there and one of the big deals, and a lot of people are still VHS purists and shit like that.
That's how it happened.
One of the big deals, that's exactly it. We used to go and we would just peruse the horror aisle and just soak in all the sun-faded covers because they'd have them right by the fucking window.
Yeah, so the sun would just.
And just bleed them all, dry up all their color, and we'd just look at it and be like, wow, April Fool's Day. Look at that one's got a noose on it. We should wear nooses.
Right.
And no, who the fuck wears nooses? We
Right.
always just wanted to be anything that was crazy.
Right,
like,
anything
we
that was
wanted to
just
be
wild.
fucking just anything that was awesome and that was all about, because my thing as a kid, I loved Kiss. I always loved Kiss. That was just my fucking thing. I had the Kiss record player, I had Kiss toilet paper, I had Kiss toys, I had a Kiss guitar, I had fucking Kiss wallpaper.
He wants that pinball machine really bad.
Yeah, for real, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's like I'm still looking for the costume from Vancouver, and I got 600 on it if anybody got it. But anyway, but for real, seriously, I mean, it's just like that was always our thing, and it was a different time, man. It was now everything's been done. Now with the advent of the internet, there are people who are parodying. I can't say that. Parodying parodies.
Yeah.
So you're a fucking paradox. You're a parody of a parody of a parody.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like nowadays, it's like nothing is special, nothing is sacred.
Right.
So at that time, it was a different story. Like we would take what we wanted, we sampled what we wanted. I think that's a reason why a lot of people enjoyed House of Crazy so much, because it was so raw and so aggressive.
It was.
Rob Zombie, we liked your beat, give it. Marilyn Manson, we loved your beat, we took it.
Give me.
Fucking
You took it.
give it, we want it. So I don't care, Stevie Wonder, love you, give it.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever we like, that's our covers. I don't care if it's a game cover, we're
Right.
fucking cutting that, or we
You
cut and
cut it
paste.
up, he do it.
We'd spend hours in Kinko's. We would sit in Kinko's for like 3 o'clock. We made friends. Denny Den.
From Kinko's.
Denny Den.
Yes.
Wherever he is. God bless you, Denny Den.
God bless you, Denny.
For real. There was a man, a grown ass man named Dennis. We called him Denny Den because he was a sweet ass player. He had an afro, most gingerest man in the world. And he seen us. And I don't know if he's seen our dedication. I don't know if he's seen the fact that there was 3 of us and we had love for each other. I don't know. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. But he showed us love. He had respect for us. And he'd always be like, I went ahead, it's okay. Your Astro Brights, they don't need tonight.
Right.
I went ahead. I know you only
Now
said
Astro Brights is
Astro Brights,
multicolored flyers, so
you
it's
want to
just,
get a normal 8x10 and you want to get it to a Zoomer or 24x30, whatever.
Right, you know, so yeah.
That's like $20.
Yeah. So he would.
Back in the day, that was like $100. He'd just, I went ahead and took care of that for you.
I took care of that.
I know you only said you wanted 300 flies, but that's a real fly. I went ahead and printed you 1,000. Y'all boys do good now. If I knew where Denny Den lived,
He's a silent investor.
Yeah.
for real though, props to Denny Den, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would do like stuff like that at like Kinko's and shit like that. Then
Hours of our
out of
lives.
Kinko's and then Cruise Gratiot. Cruise Gratiot. I don't
Hanging.
know if you know where Gratiot is, but we Cruise Gratiot, hanging and you know,
Hanging
and we
flyers
we
on
hanging
telephone
flyers
poles.
on telephone poles, cars and shit. People we see people. Hey,
Remember?
here we got a tape coming out. That's it's tapes, kids.
The
Okay,
greatest-
tapes.
the greatest shit ever.
It was tapes.
Tapes.
So-
The tapes. The greatest shit ever is to be that much of a hustler and to want it that much to where you're on Gratiot, cruising, and you pull somebody over and you're like, yo man, come check out my shit. And they're like, you can't rap. And you legitimately spit a rap to the person and they're like, all right, let me get a tape.
Right, let me get a tape.
You have to sell them
Yeah,
on
sure.
how about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit don't happen no more.
No,
we would
it's
take
different.
staple guns, and me and Brian would go pick up Paul from work, and we would go hang flyers on telephone
Yeah.
poles. We'd get mad. We would see Bobby Ritchie, Kid Rock. We'd see him at the
he'd
fucking
be with-
show.
he'd be,
And it would be funny. It would be funny
We'd all be
because
flyering shit.
he'd look at us and Bobby would be like, "I already did all those cars over there. Don't take my fucking flyers off." I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
We ain't gonna take your
you
flyers
touch
off.
my flyers
We're good,
again,
bro.
we fuck with each other. You know,
Right.
what was cool about people like him is it's like there wasn't that Detroit rivalry that there
No,
is now
it
or
wasn't.
whatever. It was all
Yeah.
cool. Everybody just
Yeah.
wanted to make it.
Just
Everybody
hustle.
was trying to just eat. Everybody wanted to just eat. It was,
It was so
I think
cool.
we need to get back to that.
That would be great.
Very well said. So you guys wanna open it up to a couple of questions?
I mean, yeah, I was told we had to hurry up, but yeah, let's
everybody got
absolutely.
We do have to hurry up, but I
Okay.
still want,
That's
if
okay,
if
go ahead.
anybody has a
Anybody?
question,
Anyone?
wanna ask some type of.
We can hear you from right there.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, bro.
This is just because I'm trying to figure it out. I seen you guys like at the Majestic Theater as
Yeah.
House of Crazies.
Yeah.
And I think it was a little bit before. Obviously, it was before Twisted, but I don't remember exactly when that was. And I was wondering when House of Crazies actually kind of stopped.
Like, was it, wonder if it was like
It was
like
masquerade, like a
96.
96.
Yeah, I think about 96 because our last tour together that we did when HOK was first going, my plan always is House of Crazies. House of Crazies. You see, like other entities, like even during the first tour, it was the r.o.c. Like other parties, they didn't want we don't want them to.
Right.
We just want you and me. No, bro, I'm telling you, it'd be cool. Well, no, we don't want that. We just want you. It's like, well, all right then. Well, I'm gonna need my hype men then. So, ended up being my hype men, but it was HOK. Because that's what it was all about. It was all about HOK. So, we're, touring and we're spot touring and running along with ICP, okay? So we're running and doing our thing with them. And I think our last tour was 96. and our last show was
In Ohio.
no,
Some shit like-
it was
Or we left from Ohio.
We left from Ohio,
Right.
and we did do it's the Fillmore now, but it was the State Theater.
Okay.
We did the State Theater, and then that's when we ended up splitting after the State Theater. And reason being, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys, okay, so you know, I ain't gonna sugarcoat the shit for you. So after the State Theater show, you know, we were all just like, the three of us, fuck this shit, we're done. We're tired of, putting our heart and soul out here, and ICPs and them cap not receiving us well. We're not getting treated all that great. We're getting treated like crap. We're like, man, come on, man. We've been out here, we've been paying our dues. Like, what's up, guys? Throw us a little something. So anyway, that whole thing was going down. We're like, fuck, man. All right, we're done. So we ended up splitting. I got a phone call, probably, I don't know, after we stopped, maybe a couple of days later. It was from Violent J. Violent J says, man, what's going on, man? How you doing? I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm good. What are you guys doing? I said, well, we're just we're going to probably do some solo projects and shit like that. We're going to split HOK up. No, you guys shouldn't split HOK up. You guys got to do it. You guys got to do it. You got to do it. Absolutely. I said, absolutely. We are. We're going to get back to it. So Jay said, hey, do you got Paul and Jamie's number? I said, absolutely. So I gave him Jamie and Paul's number. He said, hey, I'm going to hit you back, bro. I'm going to hit you back, and we'll talk. Absolutely, bro. That's the last time I talked to Joe. So Jamie and Paul, at that time, they really weren't kind of working on nothing because we all still were coming out of that whole, we were exhausted from like touring because we were washing the clothes, we were setting up stages, we were the whole
It's
package.
called paying dues.
Paying dues.
People don't
and that's,
do that.
And that's what you do. That absolutely. You gotta pay your dues, bro. You gotta pay your dues.
One thing that a lot of people don't know, that most of the jobs, if not all of the jobs that happen in the shit that you see, me and him
Yes.
have done all of those jobs. And it's good to do this is real shit. It's always good to do all of the jobs that you ask people to do, because if you do those jobs, then you can tell people how to do those jobs.
Yep.
Or you can tell someone if
There
they're
you go.
doing them
Just have
wrong.
a better understanding of what it takes to get it done.
And a better understanding of a position of what a person is in. So I know if the shoes come back and the shoes are still wet and it's showtime, why the shoes wet?
Right.
Oh, well, the dryer kept opening. Well, you're supposed to hold the dryer, motherfucker.
Right.
The whole time?
So
Yes,
you know.
motherfucker, the whole time. I washed shoes for all of the clowns
Right.
every
So
single
we
time
know.
because I was too fat to dress up like a clown and go out and throw Fago. He had to dress up like the clown because he was skinny.
Yeah.
So me and Nene washed clothes while him and Pancho was clowns.
Right. So that's paying dues. So after that, after that I gave, the numbers, and then I didn't hear from Jamie and Paul anymore. Somebody told me, yeah, man, I saw your boys up at, what's the name? They're doing, Twisted now. I'm like, ooh, what are you talking about? Oh, Jamie and Paul here up at the studio, they're doing Twisted. To myself, hey, there's some other powers at work here doing some shit that they shouldn't be doing. This is really crazy. Wow. And then after that, that's when we didn't talk no more. We weren't really ever beefing to the point where, see them niggas, I'm gonna fuck them niggas up. In certain songs, yeah, we did throw some subliminal shots at each other. Absolutely. But that's, what you kind of did. You always did that. You throw little subs at each other. Niggas is a this, motherfuckers that. And you always do. You just throw little subliminals at each other. And we just kind of didn't talk after that. I think I bumped into Paul once, and this is when his littlest was a baby. I bumped into Paul once to talk to him and everything. And we always knew we were all kind of cool. We were never beefing to the point where, I'll see you niggas, I'm gonna fuck them up. It was never like that. I can't.
It's your brother.
And this is real shit. I'm not trying to be a tough guy or anything like that, but I'd kill you for them. I would kill y'all for them.
That's real shit.
For real. That's real shit. I'll lay you down, dog. I ain't playing. And I always do that. When they dipped, Like, seriously, like all of my shit started falling apart. It wasn't because you ain't shit without twisting them. No, you right. I'm not shit without them. These are my people. That's like people, it kills me. People say, you wouldn't be shit without, of course, I wouldn't be shit without my mom and dad. That's my mom and dad, mother. Of course. These are my people. Of course I wouldn't be shit without them. I wouldn't be shit without you sitting here right now. Of course I need you guys. I hate when people say that. You wouldn't be shit if it wasn't nice to me. Of course I wouldn't. I still right now, I'll tell you, I love Joe and Joey. I would never want to harm them or anything like that, even though I know all this shit's going on. Why? Why? That's just absolutely idiotic. And then nowadays, in this internet times, you know, you guys get people behind the keyboard. Yeah, motherfucker, fuck Twisted. You know, tell r.o.c. he ain't shit either. You know, fuck Violent J.
Why you bring him into it?
Right, you know. But it's like, yo, you know, anyway. So that's kind of how that whole thing went down. And then we kind of split. And then we, you know, we didn't talk for a while. And then eventually, you know, we kind of picked up and, you know, started, you know, kicking it and talking again, which, you know, again, and here we are, you know.
Turned into some great shit. And a new HOK song that you guys just put out. I don't know if any of y'all heard it. It's exclusive, but it is pretty dope. Do we have any more questions out there? What you got in the back? Come here, man. Stand.
Meet him halfway.
What's up, man?
Hey, I have a question. Your House of Crazy's names, Hectic, Mr. Bones, and the r.o.c. Where did those originate from?
Oh shit.
I don't know. r.o.c. for me.
No, I
r.o.c.
was gonna attack that. You've always been
I've
r.o.c.
always been like
because it's raps on contact.
and it was never the. So that's why like when it's HOK, it's never the. It's always just r.o.c.
But to let you guys know, that's because back in the days in high school and shit, motherfuckers would beat on the raps on the tables, and he would just start rapping. So it was raps on contact. It was
raps
r.o.c.
on contact.
What people don't know is that his original name for House of Crazy was EXP.
EXP, yeah.
Which is a whole nother level of just what the fuck.
Yeah, that was.
But he chose Hectic, and that was crazy. And as far as for me with Mr. Bones, I've always been attracted to skeletons. Something about the people.
Well, you weren't that originally.
I wasn't. You're right. I was Big J.
Big J.
I was Big
Big J, EXP, r.o.c.
You're right.
They changed to be the. It was. Yes. So he was Big J. But yeah, then it changed to be, to do the thing, So, I remember the weekend boom back. Yeah.
I was that guy that would think of a name, like, yeah, that's it. 3 days later, like, he'd change his shit.
Like, man, goddamn,
That's why
we already said this in my rap.
Right.
Brian said it in his breath, I just got five like, hey, put your name on it.
Put your name on it. Right.
They all say
change it up, because he changed it up.
It didn't sound right.
Yeah, he changed
Big
it up.
J, r.o.c. and Randy.
Right. He's like, oh, no.
So that's what it always felt like, you know what I mean? Even this day, I'm like, whatever. I think call me Paul. One more, if you guys want. Do we have any more? One more. You right here. All right. Is the astronomicon here next year? As far as I know right now, yes. We'll bring it back one more time.
It's perfect. It's not too nice. It's not a shithole. They're just lenient enough. You know what I mean? They give Winter Guards a fucking round of applause. Right. They were not hard ass. They let us be us.
Thank you, Winter Guard.
But other than some fucking weed smoke, next year we just need trolleys going back and forth from the 15.
That's exercise.
It is for health. That's all I heard Dustin talking about. I was fat as hell.
And I also want to say that
I gotta go back down to 15 miles.
I can't remember when it was, but I still want to say that. I said it to you and I said it to him the other day because we were talking about all the snow. And I was like, do you remember how, I don't know what gathering it was because there were so many of them, but that one gathering, and I kept lobbying for all the juggalos and I kept saying, can we get our winter gathering? Can we get a winter gathering? And then I was like, I should have shushed my mouth. I'm standing half neck deep
Look
in
what you
fucking
did.
snow. And then G-Mo and all them are out there having snowball fights, and I'm like, man,
Right.
this is kind of rad. I don't give a fuck.
Now go to your igloo and go to sleep.
Hey, hurry up, Pistons, you're the last one, bro.